Blog Talk Radio.
When the days are cold and the cards all fold and the saints we see are all made of gold, when your dreams all fail and the ones we hail are the worst of all and the bloods run stale. I wanna hide the truth, I wanna shelter you, but with the beast inside, there's nowhere we can hide. No matter what we breed, we still are made of greed. This is my kingdom come, this is my kingdom come. When you pull my heat, look into my eyes, it's where my demons hide, it's where my demons hide. Don't get too close, it's dark inside, it's where my demons hide, it's where my demons hide. Curtains call, it's the last of all. When the lights fade out, all the sinners crawl. So they dug your grave and the masquerade will come calling out. It's a mess you made. Don't wanna let you down, but I am hellbound. Oh, this is all for you. Don't wanna hide the truth. No matter what we breed, we still are made of greed. This is my kingdom come, this is my kingdom come. When you pull my heat, look into my eyes, it's where my demons hide, it's where my demons from inside. I'm waking up. I feel it in my bones. Enough to make my system blow. Welcome to the new age. To the new age. Welcome to the new age. To the new age.
From a northern blue sky, smile on their faces, they entered their doom like they knew if their world should end, they won't care about that anyway. I changed the water and I burned the fire. You blew chemicals, making their doom like you knew if their world should end, you won't care about that anyway. Maybe that's the way you live your life, but I know life, it don't always live that way. Jade, a shade of pain, and then we die. Jade, a shade of pain, and then we die. Jade, shade of pain, and then we die. But it's just the way, baby, that's the way you live it up. I know life, you see, it don't always live that way. Jade, a shade of pain, and then we die. Jade, a shade of pain. Guys, God bless you and welcome to This Is It Before the Fire. I'm sorry that I had to play 3 songs. I was checking something that is absolutely fascinating. Let's do some equipment checking and let's crack into it. The gift of knowledge is the gift that just keeps on giving. I'm telling you, there's no end to it.
All you have to do is apply what you know, apply the truth to it, and you will see what is behind everything. It's just amazing. It really is. It's really just amazing. It's mind-boggling to me. Anyway, let's get into it. This is gonna be mind-boggling. Okay. By the way, Dave the Wave, I sent you. I don't know if both links came out, but if you type in to Google, I sent you a link for the meaning of Bel, Bel, the biblical meaning of Bel. You know where I already looked it up in Jeremiah. Jeremiah 51 it relates to Baal, Baal. It's the same Bel is the same as Baal. It means literally owner, Lord and owner of. Um, so Baal, the god Baal in the Old Testament, it's we know it's the devil, we know it's Satan, but the meaning of Baal means to exercise dominion over, to be lord over. As with a man marrying a woman, it should be noted that men marry women by the means of the verb Baal, Baal, B-A apostrophe A-L, not the other way around. Very interesting stuff going on here with the show we have for tonight. And then if y'all want to do this real quick, you can type in into a Google search, do a Google search. This is unfolding live, folks. So, that's why I'm sitting here just kind of freaking out. Type in meaning of Tane, Tane. The Lord just led me to do this while the show was starting because of the content of the show. The word Tane, T means man, M-A-N. Tane, T-A-N-E means man. In Polynesian mythology, Tane was the god of the forest and light, blah, blah, blah. It is the name Tane means man, M-A-N. It is also fertility, god of fertility. So it's a man, and it means god of light, god of fertility, and seed. So if you go look up all the meanings of Tane, it means man, it means god of fertility, and seed, S-E-E-D. Wow. That's going to play into tonight's program in a huge way. It's going to really shed some light, so to speak, on some of the stuff that's going on right now and what's coming up and what may or may not happen. We'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. All right. So here we go. I gotta regroup. Everybody check your feeds. Make sure you got show notes. Make sure you got YouNow. If you're watching YouNow, we have some really crazy stuff for you tonight. Really amazing. Really, 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 really wild. It's going to shed light on, this Temple of Baal thing that they may or may not put up now. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but according to recent news, they have postponed putting up the Temple of Baal. However, they may put up the Ark Triumph, which is just as telling. I mean, either way you slice it, it comes up problems. So anyway, it's going to be very interesting, very, very interesting what's going on. But I want to shed some light on what's going on with all this stuff and how you guys can really recognize that all these festivals and all this junk, it all goes back to the same thing. It all goes back to the Garden of Eden, and it all goes back to the serpent. And we got some really fascinating stuff to just really blow the lid off, their little demonic party that's going on. So anyway, that way, when you see it, you'll go, oh my gosh, that's what all that's about. I mean, here in San Antonio, we're going into what's called the Fiesta season. In San Antonio, starting next week, we have like a month of partying. I'm serious. San Antonio has what's called Fiesta, and it literally goes into weeks and weeks of partying here in San Antonio. And it really centers around, this time of year. And now I know why. I never really knew why. I never really knew what it was about. Just that we had this big party all the time. It's called Night in Old San Antonio, the coronation of the Queen in San Antonio. If anybody wants to look that up, on Google, the coronation of the Queen, and and El Rey Feo, the ugly king. We have all this weird tradition, and I never really knew where the heck did all this stuff come from. And it all goes back to this Beltane festival stuff, and it's just fascinating. I mean, it's fascinating. So anyway, I'm gonna play a song. I'm gonna come back, and then we're gonna pray, and we're gonna get started. And everybody, if you need a cup of coffee, need some water, you got, you want to make 3-minute macaroni, you got. I'm gonna give you 4 minutes and 40 seconds, and I'll be back. Here we go.
I turned on the light. in the roadside, tell of suffering and grief. Fear today, forgot tomorrow. Here beside the news of holy war and holy need. Ours is just a little sorrow.
All right, guys. God bless you, and here we go. Welcome to This Is It Before the Fire. Guys, this is just amazing stuff. Once you're awake, once you've woken up, I've woken up. I'm wide awake. And once you can see this stuff, it's so crazy that you never really recognized how surrounded you really were. We are so surrounded by this just insane alien agenda that it's hard to see because it's everywhere. It's everything. It's all the traditions. It's everything. It's so overwhelming that you would never notice because it's everything. And that's why when you wake up, you're no longer of the world because you're like, oh, you see it. It's like, oh my God, look at this. And it's like, well, you don't belong here. That's why you woke up to it. But when you're part of it, you're in it and you're asleep. And then there are what I call the handlers. The handlers are the ones that are mixed in that know. And those are the pure Satanists, the Luciferians that worship Satan, and they laugh and mock the sheep because these people that are supposed to be Christians don't even know what the Satanists know. It's crazy. It's just the wildest thing. No wonder they're making fun of everybody. So anyway, this is really a fascinating program tonight. It's going to be really shed some light on stuff. Now, let's pray and then let's come out of the gate just doing it. Here we go. Okay. In the name of the Lord Jesus, Father, Abba, I pray, first of all, that the video that I did earlier, I pray according to your will that it loads up. I know there was a lot of problems with the program, and I hopefully it's going to come out well enough or good enough. If not, just shut it down, Lord, and I'll do it again according to your will. Lord, thank you for your gift of yourself, your spirit of truth. It is so amazing to get to see this stuff and get to know what it is. It's just so neat. It's so cool. It's so liberating that we can see it. That's what really sets us free. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And I can't thank you enough, Father, for how free I feel in Christ. Amen. Okay, guys, here we go. This is just woo. Okay, quick question. I'm going to type something into Google, and then I'm going to put it in the chat room. Okay, and I'm going to do this first because it's going to come up. I want to bring this will get everybody into the program. Lyrics to Stairway to Heaven. Okay, I play Stairway to Heaven on the guitar. My son can play it on the guitar. It's a song I practiced and learned, how to play parts of the song, and it's been around for a long time. Um, Never really knew it was about. I mean, I had some inkling it had something to do with something I really didn't know about, but now I know all about it. Here we go. Okay, who's heard Stairway to Heaven? Everybody's heard Stairway to Heaven, right? I want to read you part of the lyrics real quick. Okay, there's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold and she's buying a stairway to heaven. And when she gets there, she knows that the stores are all closed. With the word, she can get what she came for. And she's buying a stairway to heaven. There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure because sometimes words have two meanings. In a tree by the brook, there's a songbird who sings. Sometime, Sometimes all of our thoughts are misgiving. Oh, it makes me wonder. Makes me wonder. There's a feeling I get when I look to the west. Hang on, let me expand these real quick. Um, okay, here we go. Let's see. When I look to the west, and my spirit is crying for leaving, and my thoughts I have seen rings of smoke through the trees. Just start thinking about this Beltane festival right now. And my thoughts I have seen rings of smoke through the trees, and the voices of those who stand looking. Oh, it makes me wonder. And it's whispered that soon, if we all call the tune, then the piper will lead us to reason. The piper they're talking about is that one that's behind the scenes, the spirit of Satan. And a new day will dawn for those who stand long, and the forest will echo with laughter. If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, let me explain to you what a bustle in your hedgerow means. I looked it up. A bustle in your hedgerow means in England they have rows of hedges around houses. And a bustle in your hedgerow means if you got a problem, like something's messing up your hedgerow in front of your house, and it's analogous to, you have something that's not working out in your life or it's messing things up. It says, if there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now. It's just a spring clean for the May Queen right there. It's just a spring clean for the May Queen. Yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. Okay, makes me wonder. Okay, I'm going to put that set of lyrics in here just real quick. These guys are completely occultic. Okay, there you go. It's just a spring clean for the May Queen. Yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. Okay. Now, the reason I put that in there now, because I know everyone's heard Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven. But did you ever know that what these guys are talking about is completely demonic and occultic? And the piper they're talking about is the spirit of Satan, the spirit of the evil one. And so it's really fascinating what we're going to crack into tonight, because we have, and everybody knows, the Temple of Baal is supposed to be erected in New York, right? Right? Well, they may not erect it now. They're talking about, well, maybe they're going to put up instead the Ark of Triumph, which also has its roots in Baal, bringing together of two roads. The Arc de Triomphe is also a historic monument. And when you look up the meaning of it, it says it has a double facade, which is interesting. Kind of like two faces. That's what double facade means. So they may not erect the Temple of Baal, they may erect the other one. And it has a double facade. Does that remind you of anything? It has two different faces. And it's the meeting place of these roads that incorporate Baal once again. So Baal is still incorporated with this other possible archway that they might put up. I just wanted to let y'all know that that is possibly the plan. The plan has been revised. But this brought up a whole interesting thing. On the 19th of this month, on May 19th, is the Beltane Fire Festival. This time last year, we had a link, and in it there was a thing from New Orleans that Todd sent in, and it said Beltane Fire Festival, and it had the Apostle John on it, and it was some voodoo thing, Madame LeVay, and we didn't pay much attention to it, but this year I'm paying a whole lot of attention to it because the Beltane Fire Festival is analogous to a festival in which they sacrificed children in the fire to Baal. And also Easter was too. I know this is rough one to kind of take in, but Easter and Christmas, the origins that have come through the most recent I don't know. I don't want to say revelation because it wasn't a revelation. The Lord led me to some information because of the temple of Baal that's coming up and what the real meaning behind all this stuff is. And I was flabbergasted as I was looking it up that all these rituals have to do once again with fertility, with orgies, bisexual orgies, and the sacrifice of children in the fire. And I'm just thinking, this is so twisted that why are all these people not understanding what this is? And I thought about it. I'm like, well, you know what? I didn't understand what it was either. Marcy brought up a good point. Spring break, when everybody hits a certain age, so spring break. It's a big party free for all. Everybody's out looking for the opposite sex to have some liaison over their spring break. I mean, I know for sure that that's what is on the mind of most guys in high school that are going on spring break, and girls. They're going looking for a spring liaison somewhere other than where they live so they can go and throw caution to the wind and then just engage. Yes. And so anyway, I want to give you guys a link to start with, and it's very, very lengthy, but it says the Queen of Heaven, why does the church celebrate Easter? And that's the first thing I'm going to click on tonight. It says double portion inheritance. The Queen of Heaven, why does the church celebrate Easter? And as you go through and you read this link and you get down and you start understanding all this stuff about, Semiramis and Nimrod and the Queen of Heaven, this is a bunch of stuff that we have already put in the Queen of Heaven DVD. But there is more information in here that will absolutely blow your mind. And it has everything to do, again, with the Garden of Eden and with this fertility thing. It's all about sex, folks. The whole thing has always been about it. That's what the beginning of it was about. That's what the virgin thing was about. That's what it was all about, even in the garden. In order to get Eve to make the mistake and to even touch, and the word touch means to lay with, like you would lay with a woman, to touch that tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So I want everybody to realize that this festival kicks off on the 19th of this month. It's when it starts. And then 13 days later, it culminates on the 1st of May. And that's when the May Queen Y'all have heard of the May Queen, and then they dance around the pole, the maypole. Y'all know what the maypole is, and it's got all the strands, and all the girls and guys hold it, and they go around the maypole, and it's a big phallic symbol, and it represents DNA. So this is some really, really, really interesting stuff. But I want to show you where this is going to go because the timing, they're supposed to erect this temple on the 19th. That's when they're set to erect this temple, was the 19th. The 19th is the beginning of the Beltane Festival. So first of all, I want to show you guys this one link. It's called Double Portion Inheritance. I'm going to put it up on your screen. I want to read maybe for the next 5 to 10 minutes. I think it's important that I read this over the radio for people that haven't seen it, that don't know what it is, that don't have the show notes. I think it's very important to read this. So I'm going to go ahead and read. Y'all can read along with me. It's called Double Portion Inheritance. The Queen of Heaven. Why does the church celebrate Easter? But it's going to go way past that. So everybody just sit tight. Okay. For too long, many of us have been lied to about the resurrection of the true Yahuwah, the Jewish Messiah named Yahushua. Just ask any person on the street, when did Jesus die on the cross? And when was Jesus raised from the dead? The answer will inevitably be, he died on Good Friday and arose again on Easter Sunday. Well, that's true. That's what almost everybody says. And, we all know that there's a different calendar and all that, but I'm just going to stick with the article. You see, organized religion has fed us lies in order to sell their political agenda and their merchandise. But the prophet Jeremiah was shown what would happen in these last days we are now living in. Listen to what he says. Okay, in Jeremiah 16:19, O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress and my refuge. In the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto you from the ends of the earth and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and the things wherein there is no profit. What exactly are these lies that we have inherited? Okay, here it goes. It all began at the Tower of Babel about 2,275 years before the birth of the Messiah. An evil religion and empire was started by one of the most evil men in history. His name was Nimrod, and he was a great-grandson of Noah. But he was very rebellious against the Creator, Yahweh, Elohim. And he was finally caught and slain for his crimes. Scripture calls him the mighty hunter, but this was not in a positive connotation. Nimrod actually hunted for humans and used them for sacrifices to the pagan sun god Molech. Okay, guys, remember while I'm reading this, just think of Bohemian Grove and all our politicians. And just, keep in mind the stuff you already know. Okay, here we go. Nimrod's name is only mentioned 4 times in the Bible. Genesis 10, verse 8 through 9, 1 Chronicles 1:10, Micah 5:6. But more details are given in the book of Jasher about Nimrod's life and his mother Semiramis. The book of Yasar is spoken about in the scripture of Joshua in chapter 10, verse 13, and 2 Samuel 1:18. The book of Yashar, we read that Nimrod was counseled by the priests of Baal to marry his own mother as an act of incest in order to acquire what is called the third eye, or the all-seeing eye of Lucifer. Well, isn't that fascinating? This is really fascinating to me. I know that in the beginning, that third eye, that all-seeing eye was because of mating with the serpent. But this is very fascinating. So listen. In order to acquire the all-seeing eye of Lucifer, people today call it psychic power or extrasensory perception, but it is demonic power to see things in the spiritual realm. The Bible calls it a spirit of divination. Ezekiel 13:7 talks about, which is a counterfeit to the true gifts of the Holy Spirit, which are given to those who are in a covenant relationship with the Messiah and obey his commandments. Nimrod married his mother Semiramis in order to acquire this special power from the fallen angels, and together they started a one world religion and government called the Babylonian Empire. Nimrod built a tower that would reach towards heaven because he wanted to consult the fallen angels through the use of astrology. When Yahuwah, saw that Nimrod's kingdom was becoming powerful and that the people were all in, quote, one accord, under a false satanic empire, he caused the continents to be divided in the earth by large bodies of water and caused the people's languages to become confused, and thus the people of Babylon scattered to different parts of the world. That's Genesis 10:32 through 11:7. Okay, the continents of the earth at one time were connected by a landmass. Okay, I'm just going to kind of skim through this. This is what's known as the Pangea in modern science. Nimrod's religion then migrated to all the continents of the world, but since the languages had been confused by Yahweh, the names of the characters were changed. Thus, Nimrod had various names in different cultures, and his mother Semiramis also had various names in different cultures as well. Now, listen closely. Nimrod's mother and wife, Semiramis, became universally known as the Queen of Heaven. Now listen, I know that when you read your Bibles, the Queen of Heaven is all, it's through Jeremiah and Ezekiel, you'll see the Queen of Heaven. Okay, and is universally known as the Queen of Heaven, and this pagan goddess has been worshipped all over the world since that time. Okay, so whose resurrection are you celebrating? The nation of Israel was guilty of worshiping this very same Queen of Heaven, the goddess of the moon and the sky, and our Heavenly Father sent the prophet Jeremiah to give them a warning. Listen to the attitudes of the house of Judah as they presumptuously thought that they could burn incense to the goddess while still maintaining their covenant relationship with Yahweh. Okay, in Jeremiah 44, but we will certainly do whatsoever things goes forth out of our own mouth and burn incense to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her. By the way, guys, what I'm reading right now is the introduction to the DVD we did called The Queen of Heaven. What I'm reading right now. This is the introduction to our DVD called The Queen of Heaven. Okay, so they poured out drink offerings to her. And they said, we have done as our fathers and our kings and our princes in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. For then they had plenty of victuals and were well and saw no evil. But since we left off to burn the incense to the Queen of Heaven and to pour out drink offerings unto her, we have wanted all things and have been consumed by the sword and by famine. Okay, as we read through this document that y'all really need to read, you will get down to the part that the Queen of Heaven is Isis holding her baby son Horus, and the Roman Emperor Constantine renamed this image Mary and baby Jesus. I know this to be true because I've decrypted these images, the same thing. And you have the serpent eating the child. And as you look at this and as you read through this, you'll see that the names have changed, but the religion has stayed the same in worshiping this mother goddess. That's why when you turn the virgin upside down, it becomes a dead sheep, because you're really worshiping Satan and you don't even know it. And it's a trick that's been perpetrated on humanity via the Catholic Church as the vehicle of distribution for this demonic religion. The image of Isis, the queen of heaven with the baby Horus, the sun god, is the true identity of Mary holding the baby Jesus that is worshipped by Catholics unawares throughout the world through these icons and graven images. And as you read through this, you'll realize that even look, they set the holidays even. They set these holidays like December 25th. They would set these holidays perfectly in alignment with these pagan festivals in order to worship their God by proxy, just not in plain sight of the people that are actually doing it. And they really had no idea that they're really worshiping Molech and that they're really worshiping, Semiramis, and that they're really worshiping Baal by default, and people don't even know it. I want to read to you those dates. I want you to listen. Okay, so listen very closely. Nimrod led the Babylonians to pay tribute to the skies, the sun, the moon, and the stars and the planets by sacrificing infants and children to these pagan deities. Okay, you need to pay attention now because this is where the temple of Baal comes in. This is where the temple of Baal comes in. Okay, so listen. So Nimrod, he led the Babylonians to pay tribute to the skies, to the sun, the moon, and the stars by sacrificing infants and children to these pagan deities. The Tower of Babel was expressly built for this purpose, and it echoed in other cultures such as Aztecs, Mayans, Incas, and others. Okay, obelisks were phallic or male fertility symbols interpreted as sun rays, and these were the precursors to steeples that go on churches. And this religion was making Nimrod and his mother, and which was his wife, very wealthy, as the Babylonian people had to pay money to come into the temple to sacrifice their babies, listen, at the winter solstice. Okay, the winter solstice is December 21st through the 25th. December 21st through the 25th. And Easter sunrise services at the spring or vernal equinox, March 21st through 25th. Sounds a lot like today's abortion clinics, doesn't it? Every year on March 25th and December 25th, there would be wild drunken parties and orgies where virgins would become impregnated by pagan priests. Since there are 9 months to a pregnancy, there are also 9 months between March 25th and December 25th. The pagan priests of Baal would impregnate these virgins on Easter Sunday, and then by December 25th, these infants were newly born. They would offer them up on the altar to Molech on December 25th. A few months later, on Easter, Sunday, sun, S-U-N day, they would offer up more infants to the goddess named Easter or Esther. And then they would dye the eggs. Listen to this. If you want to know where the egg thing comes from, they would dye the eggs in the blood of the sacrificed infants. Let me show you a picture here on, let me go down. Okay, there you go. There's pictured here are blood red eggs, which is the only color that the Greek Orthodox Church uses to color their eggs. As you read through this article and as you keep going, the more you're reading about Semiramis, and the more you read about, after Nimrod was killed, well, she gave birth to Tammuz, and she said was her reincarnated husband, and Tammuz is the reincarnation of Nimrod in order for her to keep her seat of power. And as you go through and you read about this, you'll realize even about your Christmas tree in Jeremiah, it says, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them, for the custom of the people are vain. For one cuts a tree out of the forest, the work hands of the workmen with an axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers that move not. And what they're getting into is the worship of these trees that represents Nimrod, who was cut down like a tree and was reborn as Tammuz. And it's mentioned in the book of Jeremiah. So all your holidays that you think, and that we've been led to believe in any way, shape, or form have anything to do with God, don't. They've all been promulgated upon us by pagan occultic practices, and they are running the entire show. It's their world. And now that brings me to the point of what is coming up on the 19th. I want everybody to read this entire article. I want you to read it, and become familiar with it, and understand it, because when you start reading it and you understand that this is all in the Bible, you'll go, oh my God. I mean, you'll realize that this whole Christmas, December 25th thing, and even Easter has been paganized, and this hunting of eggs, and we're talking about eggs that were dyed in the blood of babies that were sacrificed to the devil. That's some crazy stuff. And we have coming on the 19th of this month, listen, on the 19th of this month is the Beltane Fire Festival. Does anybody know anything very significant that happened on the 19th that affected this country in a huge way, and it was a big fire? They say the Beltane Fire Festival, it requires a blood sacrifice of children and fire. Yep, Alyssa. And Waco happened, as well as the federal building bombing. So the Oklahoma bombing that's printed on the U.S. currency just happened to happen on that day. What was on the bottom floor? What was on the bottom floor of that building? Anybody know? Weren't there a bunch of kids? Didn't they kill a bunch of kids? That's your government. That's the seat of power of your government. That's sick. That's sick. And they knew about it because it's printed on the U.S. currency. And now we know it was a blood sacrifice of children in fire, in public, disguised as a terrorist bombing. Oh my God. I mean, does that blow your mind? I mean, I'm sorry, there's just a little too much evidence here. It's printed on the U.S. currency. I did the video. I don't care what anybody says. The Lord showed that to me back in 2002. It's printed on the U.S. currency. It happened on the 19th. The 19th is the Beltane Festival. It requires a blood sacrifice of children and fire. Does that blow your mind? Okay, so let's get into the Beltane Festival and let's have a look, and let's engineer this thing. Let's reverse engineer it with the knowledge that we have. I'm going to pull up the show notes and, oh my gosh, there's just, okay. So the meaning of Baal is Baal, Baal, like Baal, and it means Lord and Master, owner, and Tain means man, and seed. I mean, fertility. Think about it. Beltane. So the name of the festival we're going to take a look at well, I'm going to look at it up in Wikipedia. Beltane Fire Festival. Let's look at the Wikipedia link. It's modern Beltane Fire Festival, inspired by the ancient Gaelic festival of Beltane, which began on the evening before May 5th and marked the beginning of summer. So it's the summer solstice, but it begins on the 19th and it wraps up to May. That's where the May Queen comes from. And that's what that whole festival is all about. But I want to show you guys some imagery from the festival. Okay, I'm going to go back. Let me click back on this. I think, if y'all, I didn't want to put too much sorted stuff in here. I didn't want to put too much stuff in here, but I'm going to put this one picture on your screen. Everybody's dancing around, for the most part, naked in G-strings. Men and women. Women that are topless. Men are wearing Tarzan cloths. That's it. Women are wearing almost nothing, G-strings and whatnot. But if you want to see how bad it is, get a Google image search going and type in Beltane Festival. Beltane Fire Festival, Google Images. Why don't you go ahead and take a look at that? Because I want to get everybody's brain on the same page. Everyone's painted red. Everyone's painted red, by the way. And I want you to listen to this also. Just give me a second. Next to this is in the apocalypse. Okay. Imagine Dragons. I played that song Radioactive. I'm waking up to ash and dust. I want my brown, my sweat, and my rust. I'm breathing in the chemicals. I'm breaking in, shaping up, then checking out on the prison bus. This is it, the apocalypse. I'm waking up. I feel it in my bones enough to make my system blow. Welcome to the new age. Welcome to the new age. I raise my flag and dye my clothes. It's a revolution, I suppose. We're painted red to fit right in. Whoa. I'm gonna put those lyrics in there so you guys read between the lines. Everything adds up. Here we go. I put that in the chat room. I want you guys, take a minute. I'm going to play a song, and I want you guys to take a look on Google Images at the Beltane, Beltane Fire Festival. You need to do it. It's going to blow your mind. I'm sorry. I don't want to broadcast it. I want you to look on your own computer because there's a lot of smut. But I want you guys just to take a peek so you know what we're dealing with, and then I'll be back in a couple minutes. Just type in a Google image search of Beltane Fire Festival. You don't need a link. You can do it yourself. For some reason, the song's not playing. There it goes. So here we go. So now listen, I don't want to keep jumping around too much. I want everybody to read that article. I'm going to reread it. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to read it again, and then I'm going to read it again, and I'll probably read it again, and then I'll go cross-reference it to the Bible myself. And you know what? That way I can have an intelligent talk about every single thing in that article. I mean, I want to make an A plus on that article. That's I see. I've already gone and done a lot of this homework, and I've done it, on separate issues at separate times, and I put it together in videos. But I've never seen an article that broke it down in its constituent parts so well and so concisely. It's just absolutely mind-boggling. Now let's get back to the Beltane Festival, which begins the orgy and the party until the crowning of the May Queen, okay? Now, I want you to think about it. It's a fertility festival, and there's all these people painted red, and they're dancing around naked. Now, you go back to this festival in history, and I guarantee you it was even more lascivious. And this is the origins of sacrificing children to the devil. I want you to think about that. Easter egg hunting is from an origin of dyeing eggs in blood of children that were sacrificed. And can you imagine all the little kids running around hunting Easter eggs every Easter? This is a sick world, folks. And now that the veil is coming down, and now that we can see through all this stuff, it's really fascinating. But watch this. I'm going to show you guys some stuff before we get into this May Queen stuff that I want to show you that you should recognize. Okay. Do y'all remember the pictures I've shown you of the one eye that's open, one eye closed, the winking eye, the tongue sticking out? if you look through those pictures of the Beltane Festival, you will see something very common on their eyes. You see that guy with the circle? I'm looking at picture A5. Look at that. They have one eye that's circled. A lot of the people, they have one eye that's got a circle around it, and they're sticking their tongue out. Did you know if I open up the show notes for the World of Good and Evil, they have those things at Walmart that has the like the smiley face, and it's got one eye that's winking, the other eye with a big circle around it. The same exact thing is at Walmart. The emojis. Thank you, Alyssa. The emojis. Yes. 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 The same thing as at Walmart. I mean, how twisted is that? And they're paying. Look, I want you to look. I'm going to go back to this original picture. Okay. I want y'all to just break it down. Do these people look like they're covered in blood, maybe? Are y'all looking at this picture A5? There's no doubt about it. That's what it's supposed to be. It's, yeah, there it is. Okay, so now let's go back. Now let me show you some of the posters for the festival. Let's see. Okay, here's posters. I want to show you something that is a common theme amongst the posters. I'm looking at, let's see, let me see which picture this is in your show notes. I'm looking at picture G1. Picture G1. These are posters from previous Beltane festivals. So picture G1. I'd like everybody to look at picture G1. No, not. We'll look at the Ark on Fire in a minute. I want everybody to look at the guy. There's a guy, and then there's the May Queen. Okay, the picture to the left, it says, okay, I want you to notice something about the guy. He has a green outline to him. You see the green? His body is outlined in green. Do y'all see that? The guy with the horns that look like either deer horns or like sticks. Y'all see that? He's kind of got a green outline to him, right? And he's with the May Queen. I want you to look at the next picture in the middle. There's a guy, and what color is he? He's green, right? And what's he got in his hand? He's got a woman that's naked, right? Okay, the other image there, I want you to look at the logo for the Beltane Fire Festival. If you took these things off the side, right here, look. Let's see. Hang on. You see right here? If you just took this part going like this, and you took the little swooshes off the side, you would have the Scion logo. You would have the exact same thing right here as the Scion logo. But the thing is, this is a reversal. The right becomes the left becomes the right. But that is the same exact logo as Scion, up and down. But it's got this little added thing because I'm sure it's got everything to do with witchcraft. I mean, obviously, it's a symbol for their witchcraft. Now let's go look a little further. Let's look at a couple more posters. So we have two green guys, and we have the logo. Now let's go see a couple more of their posters. Okay, so here's another poster. Okay. There's another poster. There's a green guy looking into the eyes of the girl that's white right here, right? Now, what y'all can't see, but I can see it, this space in the and what I can do is I can draw over it for you. The negative space in between him and her makes the face of a sheep. This is a sheep right in here. Right in here is a sheep. But I have to reduce it in size and I have to draw in the changes in shadow. It makes a sheep in between the guy and the girl, and they're looking into each other's eyes. What color is the guy? What color is the guy? He's green again. Uh, I want you to look at this. I want you to look at their hair. Look at their hair. Look how it goes around, or whatever this thing is, or it's the two different plants. It goes around and it connects the two of them. It joins them together. What does that plant look like when it's twisted together? DNA. Correct. It also looks like the Oribus. Correct. Also the wheat and the weeds. Correct. You guys are wide awake. Let's look at this other image. Let's look at this image right here. Well, what color is that guy? Color is this guy? He's green. It looks like he has horns, just like the devil. What color is this girl? She's white, a different color. And out of their mouth is coming breath. Look, see? And the breath is intertwined together like DNA, and it goes up to their symbolic, their symbol that looks like the silent symbol, their little witchcraft emblem. And it represents the two races that have been joined together. Do you see what it is? So they're celebrating that's right. Olive Tree got it right. They're celebrating the Garden of Eden. That's what they're celebrating. They're celebrating the serpent and Eve. That's exactly right. That is exactly what they're celebrating. And guess what happened to the human race when that happened? What happened to the human race when the man fell? We became fuel for the fire. That's what we became. Because once we fell, everyone that dies goes to the pit and goes into the fire. That's what you become. Fuel for the fire. There it is. You're looking at the world without the rose-colored glasses now, folks. That's it. And that is exactly what you're looking at. That is exactly what it is. Look at it. And they get people, there's all these people, they go to this thing and they have no idea what they're doing. It's just like when we were talking about April Fool's Day. Pobre palomito. Remember, pobre palomito inocente. A poor little innocent dove that thought it was guiltless. April Fools into the pit. It's all about the same darn thing. I mean, April Fool, same thing. This thing, it's the Garden of Eden, celebrating the fall of man. That's what you're looking at. You're celebrating the fall of humanity. In this picture over to the right, these two breasts coming together, going into the fire. I mean, my goodness. Look at what you're looking at. This is insane. And our country, they want to put up, let's see, they want to put up temple to Baal. I'm sorry, that group of pictures was not one that I'm familiar with. I'm going to show you another picture that is very telling. Samhain, that's Halloween. This is the Halloween. Okay, y'all see picture I? It's a yin and a yang. And here's this mother goddess. And look, a dead animal. Oh my gosh. Here's another one. This is going to be an alien. There's the eye and there's the eye. You see it? Just cleverly disguised right in front of your face. Halloween, Samhain, Beltane, Fire Festival. They're all celebrating the fall of man. Well, let me show you the May Queen. Okay, so the May Queen, is here. Well, let me show you this picture first. Here's the green guy making it with the May Queen. There you go. There it is. There's a representation of the Beltane Fire Festival, because when he made it with her, everyone became food for the fire, fuel for the fire. Isn't that amazing? Okay, now watch this. So they have the May Queen, and the May Queen comes walking through this arch. Now watch this. Picture A6. Look at this. You see picture A6? Y'all see the May Queen? She comes through this arch of fire that I told you that Eve became the portal that which that demonic entity was able to take down this entire world. Watch what happens in the middle of the arch. Look what the May Queen does. Look what she does. This has nothing to do with the Temple of Baal. The Temple of Baal was supposed to be going up on the 19th, and so in New York they said that they're canceling it last minute. They may put up the Arch of Triumph, which is different, but it's still got the same connotations. It's a triumphant entry. What does that look like on your screen right now? Everybody take a look on your screen. Do you know what you're looking at? Picture A3. Somebody tell me what you see. It's a portal, yes, Alyssa. It's the all-seeing eye, folks, coming through the portal. That's what it is. You're looking at the all-seeing eye coming through the portal. And what is the portal made of? The May Queen, the Virgin. Do you see how it always goes back to the truth? All these pagan rituals goes back to the truth. We've just been kept in darkness our whole lives. We've been lied to by the churches. We've been lied to by everybody. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. That is the all-seeing eye coming through the portal in the form of the Virgin. That's why when you turn the Virgin upside down, it becomes the dead sheep, which is all of us. Isn't that just amazing? And so, yeah, our government wanted to put up the Temple of Baal in New York City. Okay, well, let me show you something. I want to show you guys. I want to show you all the May Queen. Look right here, picture A4. Okay, there's picture A4. Everybody take a look at the May Queen. She comes out with her entourage of, whatever, bestial virgins. Here she comes. You see it? Y'all looking at it? Okay. Todd knocked this one off immediately. Y'all looking at the May Queen, right? You're looking at the May Queen, what it represents, the fall of man. Let me show you Star Wars scenes. Star Wars. the princess of Tatooine, kind of like Beltane, huh? Tatooine. This is the princess that Anakin Skywalker knocked up that had twins. Oh my gosh. Star Wars also has the same theme going. Star Wars, let's just take another look. Let's just take another look. I'm having trouble getting it to go off the screen. Give me a second. So let's see. Here we go. Wow. Wow. So see, it's the same thing being played out over and over again. And did you know Star Wars? They have like their own deck of cards. I don't know if y'all know that. I did not know that. I think Dave told me, or Todd, Dave or Todd told me. And in the Star Wars deck of cards, they're kind of like tarot cards. Let me show you what the princess from Tatooine, what her label is. That's the label on the princess from Star Wars from their cards. What does that say? What does that say on the card? Someone type that into the chat room for me. So yeah, Dave Shadow put Star Wars Zodiac. No, Jesus is coming wrote, is anything innocent? The answer is no. Only those that have been saved by the blood of Christ. You're on the devil's planet, people. Now are you more awake? Yeah, look. So the princess Tatooine, her symbol is Virgo. Oh wow, you mean like virgin? Yeah, like that. Is that amazing or is that amazing? Isn't this just crazy? Now we know now we know what's up. I mean, isn't it crazy? Now when you know the truth, you know what's going on. Let me show you one of these really nifty symbols that they use, some more stuff for their posters, and this one ought to hit home for you right here. Yeah. The Beltane Fire Festival. This one that's on your screen right here. There's another green guy over here, and he's coming together, kissing the white girl over here. And you have a tree of the knowledge of good and evil. You see it? Good and evil. You have a right side up pyramid, upside down pyramid. Right side up pyramid, upside down pyramid. Oh my gosh. These guys have knowledge, don't they? Yeah, yeah, yeah. What about that guy? The green guy with the Beltane Fire Festival. There it is. I mean, goodness gracious. That's just mind boggling. There they all are. Look at that. Of course, yeah, the guy has his reflection. The green guy, I just noticed it. What do you think about that? Uh-huh. And this is the season we're in right now, folks. By the way, I just noticed there's like a serpent in the tree. Negative space. Anyway, very, 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 very fascinating stuff. Just mind boggling. Now I want to show you another picture. Do y'all remember the clothing line that we showed y'all from Zoomies called Rip and Dip? Rip and Dip. It's the clothing line that's got the alien with its tongue sticking out. You know, on the skateboard clothing now, it's kind of the big thing. Yeah, let me show you one of their new stickers that just came out. There you go. There's one of their new stickers that just came out. I got an email today. It says that the aliens have arrived. That's what it said. There it is. Oh, wow. Just like we were reading about in Semiramis and Tammuz, the reincarnation of, Nimrod, and on and on and on it goes. Uh huh. Yeah. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's just amazing what's going on. It's just like, oh my God, this is so crazy. You can't make this stuff up. Let's have a little look at, let's just, you know what? Spirit of Albion. There you go. The old ones have not abandoned you. Wow. And there's the green guy. That's the devil again. Um, yeah, it's pretty amazing. Now let's take a look at the symbology of this witchcraft stuff, so you recognize it when you go places. This is fascinating. It says triple goddess, symbols of the triple goddess. Three unclean spirits like frogs left from the mouth of the beast, dragon, and the false prophet. Take a very good look at some of these symbols. You'll see these things everywhere. You'll see this one, this one, this one, this one, this one in medical field. Yeah. I mean, these symbols are very recognizable. Yep. Know your enemy, people, and know where you are when you're there. It's just amazing to me that this kind of stuff is just so prevalent and that we didn't really know it. There's just so much in front of our face. Now I want to show you a picture of the May Queen and the maypole. See, everybody's just out having a great time wrapping those pretty ribbons around the pole. Did you know I was driving around, the other day, and I looked over the bank, and they had these two really big maypoles out in front of the bank, and I thought, wow, that's crazy. I guess for a fiesta. Then I was driving down another residential street, and I was like, wow, those people have maypoles in front of their house too. And I've been seeing them now all over the place. Guys, it represents a penis. It represents a penis, and it represents DNA. I mean, I wouldn't want my kid out there grabbing one of the ribbons running around, would you? I mean, but then if you tell them no, everybody say, "What's wrong with you? Why don't you let your kid participate?" Well, see, I'm in the world, but I'm no longer of the world. Love Michelle 777 wrote, when I was in elementary school, they had us perform the maypole for our parents. Of course they did. Of course they did. And on and on and on it goes. Christmas. I mean, type in the Google images Santa Claus winking his eye. You'll come up with an unlimited amount of images of Santa Claus winking his eye. The Bible says, do not let those that wrongfully rejoice over me wink, and do not let them wink the eye that hate me without a cause. So if Santa's winking his eye, what does that tell you? That whoever produced that image knows that Santa is something that was designed because they hate Christ. Do you get it? You are on a planet that is so possessed, so demonically possessed, that once you wake up, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't belong here. pretty wild, isn't it? Pretty wild. Pretty wild stuff. Well, there it is. Yeah. I think Dave's calling in. Dave the Wave, is that you?
Hey, Johnny.
Hey, what's up? Yeah. What are you doing? Yeah, anyway, what's up?
I'd like to bring up something interesting. If you go back to the Judge Scalia thing and the whole International Order of St. Hubertus, which we went over about a month ago, the logo for that secret society is an iron cross that's green in color, and it's got deer antlers on it.
Yep.
It's part of all their banners and everything. So it's all, green coloration with antlers. That's their whole, symbology.
You know what? I was noticing that when I was looking at that dead deer, for the, here, I'm going to pull it up for everybody. There it is. The Beltane Fire Society production, Samhain, which is Halloween. It's that same alien head. It's the same alien, dude. Same thing.
Yeah, in fact, I just sent you an email with some pics on it from St. Hubertus, so you'll see, basically the green coloring and the antlers and the whole deal.
Yeah, this is just messed up. Oh yeah, and there it is. Check it out, man. That is just messed up. Oh, jeez.
Even the Jägermeister bottle, which was part of that, whole show notes, the Jägermeister bottle is green.
Oh, yeah. Yep, there you go. No doubt about it. Everything's connected, all of it, every bit of it. Just, there's those that know what they're doing, and then there's that lead the other unwitting sheep into it. And they have no idea. They just think they're going along, but they're actually being laughed at, They're actually laughing at us. That's crazy. All right, yeah, guys, go check out the St. Hubertus stuff. Again, I don't know what day that was. Just go check out the Scalia video, about Scalia being murdered, the one that I did, and it's on YouTube. It's got all the stuff in it. Yeah, it's a definite match. It's exactly. There's no doubt about it. They're all part of the same weirdness.
That show note was February 29th, was the Scalia
Okay.
show.
Cool, okay. February 29th, folks. Go check it out and match it up. It'll blow your mind. Well, this just changes my whole Star Wars thing. It just ruined it. I'm just kidding. I'll never be able to watch Star Wars again. Yeah, it's just mind-boggling. I was like, all right, Dave. Anything else?
That's it.
All right, bro. All right, thanks.
Okay. All right.
All right, bye. Yeah. My brain is just mush. I mean, it's just so crazy. Oh, man. Okay. Okay, listen up, guys. I've got to go because, listen, the video just loaded up, guys. I just loaded up the video on the alien thing, and I had all kinds of problems with the program. And the program crashed 3 times during the production of the video, and I had to try and save it and stitch it together because it's 2 hours and 15, 20 minutes long. And so I didn't want to have to redo it. So I tried to put it together. So I have to go back and I have to go check that video and make sure it's okay. So anyway, listen, God bless you guys. We're going to call it a night. I'll put on a song to close it out. And then I got to check on this video.
There were days when each hour was a war I fought to survive. There were nights full of nightmares, and I dreaded closing my eyes. There were skies that burst open with a downpour to drown me alive. But the world took a spark like a match in the dark, and the fire brought me to life. So I'm fanning the flames to climb so high, 'cause there's no other way we can stay alive. 'Cause we're burning bright as we all unite. And when it's all said and done, we'll shine like the sun. So don't let the fire die. And we'll watch the sky as it fills with light. And though the embers are new, whatever you do, just don't let the fire die. And you'll find there'll be mornings when the ashes and embers are cold, but you'll fight with a passion, and you'll never stop, 'cause you know, yeah, you know, it gets better, and your story is yet to be told. Every push, every shove, every war, every love, yeah, the coals are beginning to glow. So I'm fanning the flames to climb so high, 'cause there's no other way we can stay alive. 'Cause we're burning bright as we all unite. And when it's all said and done, we'll shine like the sun. So don't let the fire die. And we'll watch the sky as it fills with light. And though the embers are new, whatever you do, just don't let the fire die. Don't let the fire die. It gets better. Don't let the fire die. No. 'Cause we're burning bright as we all unite. And when it's all said and done, we'll shine like the sun. So don't let the fire die. And we'll watch the sky as it fills with light. And though the embers are new, whatever you do, just don't let the fire die. And though the embers are new, whatever you do, just don't let the fire die.
All right, guys. God bless you. Good night.
Don't let the fire die.